All right, nighttime video, right? A little bit different. Trying not to show too much back there because you don't know what you're gonna see, right? Secrets. So, this thing has been sitting for 6 months. Right at 6 months. I'm a horrible person because how can I let my favorite vehicle that I currently own and have ever owned sit for that long? Well, it's had a lot of problems, and the last time I drove it 6 months ago, it had basically no brakes, the throttle was sticking, the clutch was staying engaged, the shifter was hanging up, and the rear tires are bald. So we had 5 main issues. Oh, and 6, the battery kept going dead. I think that went through another battery just because the truck sits so much. So I had 6 issues, and I got tired of dealing with all that, so I said I'm gonna park it until I can finally fix it. And we're gonna do another rendition of the Shelby, and I'll do a quick run through of what we're gonna do. We're gonna get rid of the sport bar because it's broken and it keeps breaking, and I never could decide if I really liked it or not. So we're gonna take it off. We're gonna do a tonneau cover. We're gonna do a rear spoiler, kind of like a NASCAR truck style. Get rid of the rear bumper. Got some new rear tires for it. We're gonna do new wheels. Basically the same wheels with a little bit of a twist, which you'll see. I'm not gonna spoil that. We're gonna fix the shifter, fix the brakes, a battery, fix those wires properly that got burnt. Some other odds and ends. May do some different headlights and some, like I said, little odds and ends. We're just gonna do a little once over on this thing, a big once over, and go back through it. But let's start off by throwing a battery in it and see if it still runs. All right, as I'm opening the hood, I'm realizing more issues. I forgot that one of the plug wires, my nice MSD plug wires, melted on the header, even though I had the boots on there. The air cleaners, that's a problem. Also, the electric fans that are pusher fans, they actually stopped working, it's a common issue on these trucks, and mine finally got that problem, which has probably had it before. They've probably been rebuilt, but we're gonna get rid of those, and we're gonna go ahead and put 2 fans back here, which I don't know why they didn't do that from the factory, but we're gonna go ahead and do that. Also, I just realized the power steering, that's been a problem as well, and we need to fix that. So yeah, we got a decent little list of things to do. So let me go ahead and swap this battery out and see if this thing still runs. Well, the battery doesn't fit, just a good used one I had, so I'll have to get one in the morning. I was gonna go ahead and swap the air cleaner on that I got, good used one, and it doesn't fit, so I'm gonna have to get a drop base filter and use this lid and get a taller one than this 1 inch, or whatever that is, 1.5, because that's no bueno. So we'll just forget about this for now. So let's do something that we probably can do, because that right there is about how work goes on this truck. So let's go ahead and take this bumper off. I tried to take it off after the wreck happened, but I remember the bolts being seized. I have a bigger impact now and bigger breaker bars, so let's see if we can get this off. I'm gonna set you down and talk to you. Let's see if we can get this thing off. It's been like 2 years since the wreck. So the original bumper on this was bent up just from being old. Took the pads off, sold them, because I found this bumper in the junkyard in Dallas that had 90,000 miles, and it was perfect. The first gen Dakota bumpers are hard to find in good shape, like the OE ones like this. They have like this flat steel ones, but I'm not into that. So we're just gonna go no bumper because we're going for a different style. Oh, there's no room under the seat, it's so low. sure why I was thinking that it was seized, because they all just came out flawlessly. I should probably go ahead and take my license plate lights out. Actually, it's gonna be different anyway, so I'm just gonna close the harness. Yeah, there we go. Super easy. Now, what you're gonna want to go ahead and do is make sure that you don't have anyone to help you with this, and let the bumper fall on you, because that's what you want. Okay, well, now that we have the bumper off, here's my new license plate, which you've seen, Cannonball. And we're just gonna go ahead and mount her up about like that. We'll get it level, but that's the idea. And see, now you can see all the trick suspension stuff. You've got a aluminum finned diff cover, rebuilt rear end with a new oh man, it's been so long. I think it's a Eaton True Track, maybe. Have to go back and look. New shocks and junk, you know. Get the Beltec rear sway bar add-on, so it's pretty cool. Got the license plate all mounted up. Looks pretty good, I think. Now I've noticed some things from the wreck that aren't quite right on this truck. Like that axle tube on the passenger side there was just a teeny tiny bit bent, because I had to pop that axle in just slightly with a hammer. Now take a look at this shackle, okay? Now, unfortunately I did see this, but we're gonna pretend like we didn't see this. Look at this shackle. So, you know, we'll just pretend like we never saw that, and we'll move on to our next project, which is going to be cleaning up these old exhaust hangers, which are still here for some reason, and tying this wiring up, which I will put a license plate light that got bent up in the wreck. I'll put a license plate light up through here, and it'll be mint. And but I'll finish this up, and then we'll come back with whatever else I can find to do next. Okay, got the tires aired up, and I decided we're gonna go ahead and pull off the roll bar. That's a look that I haven't seen since either late 2020 or early 2021, and I painted this and scuffed it and painted it because it started pitting from rusting, so I wanted to stop that. But I go so fast in this truck, and it's not necessarily made to do that, in the sense of, like, you know, we'll say allegedly 120, 130, something like that. You know, maybe more, because the speedometer pegs out at, I think, 125. Yeah. It's actually pulling up on the bed. This is all the factory hardware, and it's actually pulling up on the bed, so it's kind of interesting. But I'm gonna go ahead and scuff this back down, and I got some patina solution that I've made up before, and I'll spray that on and see if we can bring it back. All right, just hit it with the flappy disc, and just kind of broke it up, and put some salt water and vinegar on there. I made that up for B a long time ago, not really sure which one's which. I just kind of spray it on it, you know what I mean? Just kind of. So we'll leave that and see what happens. Eventually it'll rust, because, you know, it's just what it's got to do. Next thing I'm going to do, and I've been meaning to take this out for 2.5, 3 years. The bed mat. I hate the bed mat. I bought it just because it's made for Dakota, and you know, why not? But I don't like it. I'm getting rid of it. Got the bed all cleaned out and got the bed mat out, and we're gonna go ahead and blow out the back of the bed because it is nasty. And that is exactly why I don't like bed mats, because they get stuck under there and it'll rot it out. So much better. A little rusty under there, but nothing too bad. When we get this thing going again, we'll take it to the car wash, or might wash it out here on my concrete, but we'll clean it all up really good and get the drains cleaned out. You know, you can see where the water level was, so that's pretty bad. Well, that's where we'll leave it tonight, and this battery is thinking about charging now, so that's strange. But we'll pick back up on this tomorrow and see what else we can get done. All right, battery's got some type of juice in it, and we're gonna see if this thing will start. It's been 6 months. Hey, you better grab that rag. Oh, you don't got to tighten the cables. gonna go ahead and get this thing pulled out and pull the grill and stuff out of it and get the old fans out. So I'm sitting here looking at what I'm gonna have to do to get the fans out. And then I start spinning them. I'm like, well, they're not locked up. Like, surely they'll still work. Like, I don't understand why they don't work. So I'm like, okay, well, the wiring harness, they come together up in here. Wiring harness comes to here, through there. And I'm like, okay, through here. And I see the ground right there. And then I see the plug. And it's unplugged. I'm like, oh, well, here's the other side of the plug. It's literally just unplugged. So, I guess I'm gonna plug it in and see if they kick on. Let's see if it's fixed. Ah, the key. No power steering. Oh yeah. I don't know why they're on already because it's only 112 degrees. But yeah, they're on. Okay. Patina's starting to do its job. Starting to look really good through here. So, trying to figure these fans out. Okay, well, next I'm going to work on the steering shaft. As you can see down there, it spins within the little coupler. Now what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and weld it. And you're probably thinking, oh, don't do that, it's not right, and you'll never get it apart. Well, you can still get it apart because it comes apart in 2 different spots on each end of that. And I cannot get a new one. I've looked and looked and looked and looked and looked, and I cannot find one. So I'm just gonna make that one piece. So, because that's the only slack in the steering. And especially without power steering, it's really annoying. So that way, that'll be fixed. And then when I get power steering, the whole steering system will be perfect, at least for now. See, you want to make sure that you weld right by the fuel line, which is right here and here. You got the return and the feed. Yeah. You ain't living unless you're welding next to a gas line. That's not that bad. Oh yeah. That's a pretty good one. One more little straight stretch. Shoot, boy. That's a professional weld right there. See if I can get y'all in here. For being in a really awkward spot and having grease on it and not even cleaning it, turned out pretty good. Check it out now. That's not even slack, that's being tight. Probably can't see it. It's got no slack in the steering now. Mint